Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday evening, the 1st of February. I'm James Spann. Obviously, the attention is focused on the potential for strong to severe storms across the state late tomorrow and tomorrow night. Still a pretty good shot of cold air coming down the pike in about 10 days. So let's dive in there and check things out. The trough that is in the southwest United States beginning to lift out. And that's going to set up a big snowstorm for Denver, Albuquerque, ultimately across parts of the Great Plains up toward the Great Lakes. But hey, it feels pretty good here today. Look at the low 70s, Tuscaloosa 73. Same for the Shelby County Airport, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden 71. One more day with numbers like this, then we'll see cooler air Wednesday in the wake of the storms tomorrow night. Very cold air diving in behind the developing storm system across the Rockies. They're in the teens and 20s at midday. And there's a look at the winter weather warnings, the winter storm warnings from Denver to Green Bay, blizzard warnings for parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota. In fact, here's a look at the snow forecast coming from the National Digital Forecast Database, and you can see those big numbers up through Nebraska, Iowa, parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, north of the track of the surface low. But, of course, we are in the warm sector, and we are concerned about thunderstorms. A marginal risk of severe storms centered near Tulsa, Oklahoma for the rest of today and tonight. But obviously, this is the big story for tomorrow and tomorrow night. The risk of severe storms extends all the way from the Gulf Coast up to near Indianapolis. The core enhanced risk runs from near Jackson, Mississippi up to the Ohio River. The standard risk from Baton Rouge and Gulf Shores up to Cincinnati and almost up to Indianapolis. Here's a closer look at the risks for our state. The enhanced risk is basically for areas along and west of a line from Huntsville to Tuscaloosa. And understand, storms don't know where these lines are. This is a guideline. But the better chance of supercell storms with tornadoes will be in that enhanced risk area late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. The standard risk is along and west of a line from near Heflin to Greenville to Bruton. There is a marginal risk for places like Auburn, Opelika, Troy, Eufaula, and Enterprise. And, of course, that will be the point of this discussion. We'll take a look at the parameters in just a second. Now, day 3, this is Wednesday. There is a marginal risk of severe weather for the remnant storms that's pushing deeper into Alabama Wednesday morning. But obviously, the dynamic support is lifted out. And as you can see there, the threat is marginal. Rain for the next 5 days, about 1 inch, valid through Saturday evening. But let's take a look at things tomorrow. This is 12 noon off the GFS. You can see the big trough in the western states. The surface low should be over the eastern part of Kansas at midday, 993 millibars. The trailing front down through Texarkana and Lake Charles. Big snows north of this low in the cold sector. The chance of severe storms in the warm sector. And then by midnight, the surface low is near the Quad Cities. And again, for us, we have a line of storms that should be passing through West Alabama at that point. We'll check the severe weather parameters. This is the instability, surface-based Cape tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And again, these numbers are not overwhelming, but the dew points ought to be in the 60s, and they might be a little higher than this. This is suggesting they peak at about 500 to 700 joules per kilogram, but we might see values a little higher than that, but that's certainly sufficient for severe weather. Low-level jet, the numbers have come up a little bit. This is suggesting winds about 5,000 feet off the ground could easily exceed 60 knots tomorrow evening. Storm relative helicity values, those are certainly sufficient for rotating updrafts. And again, obviously the possibility of tornadoes. And this is the significant tornado parameter tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And you can see the higher values over West Alabama and Northeast Mississippi, where there is a good combination of instability, buoyancy, and low-level shear. And any storms that form out there could go severe pretty quickly. In fact, this is the 1 kilometer reflectivity data coming off the high-res NAM tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And you can see potential for not a line of storms, but cellular-type activity. And those storms could become severe, and they could try and go into rotation. So we might very well see storms beginning to fire tomorrow afternoon, late in the day, that are severe. And again, these are approximate times. Up in that enhanced risk, we'll say 3 o'clock, and that's pretty early. For a lot of you, it's going to be after 3, but near the Mississippi border, there could be a few storms as early as 3, but 3 until 8, and that enhanced risk. For Birmingham, the standard slight risk 6 to 10, and then off to the east 9 until 1. And the storm should weaken once they move east of I-65 as the dynamics lift away and the air becomes more unstable. So needless to say, it's going to be a busy day of watching the weather late tomorrow and tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll keep you posted. Let's go to Wednesday. Storms ending during the morning. And the sky should begin to clear by afternoon as dry air works in. The high Wednesday, 62 coming in from both models, so nothing cold at all, but not as warm as recent days. Thursday should be a sunny day. We start the day in the 30s. The high will be in the 50s, and pretty much the same thing on Friday. Friday morning could be pretty chilly with upper 20s possible. The high Friday in the low 50s, the sky bright and sunny. All right, weekend fans, this is Saturday. Should be a sunny day. Lows in the below freezing, around 30, and the high would be in the 50s. And Sunday, a low begins to form in the Gulf. Rain begins to spread up into southwest Alabama, so clouds could increase Sunday. And there might be some rain Sunday night. This is Sunday night at midnight. That surface low is southeast of here, but this is suggesting maybe some rain as far north as Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden. So the weekend could end up with some rain. And this is Monday. A trough develops over the east, and that system is on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And if this is right, Monday would be cool and dry with 50s and 30s. And this is the end of the forecast, the middle of next week, Thursday the 11th. Strong troughing on the East Coast, and that's a pretty cold air mass dropping in here with a 1032 high over South Mississippi. And you can see the anomalies. This is suggesting temperatures could be 20 degrees below average. That's pretty cold. That might give us a morning with lows in the teens if this verifies toward the middle or end of next week. Numbers are the teleconnections, the Arctic Oscillation tries to go negative, as does the NAO, kind of confirming that cold signal for mid-month. You really don't see it in the ensemble numbers. They come down toward 45 on the 10th. I wouldn't be shocked if it's colder than that. But again, the idea is that the middle of the month could be colder than average here by maybe a pretty good bit. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.